Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Benchwarmer Sports podcast. I'm your host, Travis Strong, as always, joined by Theodore, Davian, and we got someone hopping on today, Anthony, one of Davian's good pals. Anthony, it is an honor to be talking to you. I know you're a big NBA insider. I believe I saw a picture of you hanging out with Woj a few days ago. Anthony, how are you doing today? How does it feel to be on the greatest podcast of all time? By greatest, I mean we have 6 subscribers, but you can only go up from there.
Facts.
Thank you. Actually, my dad actually was at the barbershop with Woj a few days ago. So that's pretty ironic that you mentioned him.
That's actually hilarious. That's awesome. Davian Theodore. Theodore is outside. We have Nature Theodore. You got to see Beach Theodore on our TikTok,
yep.
_ sports. If you want to watch some shorter films, short takes, there's a little plug for that. But we have Theodore outside enjoying nature. It looks like he's about to hop on a motorcycle after this and just play
Top Gun style.
down the Jersey Shore. And then we have Davian in the usual location. But yeah, let's get right into it. I do want to talk a little bit about the NHL draft, which Anthony doesn't care about, but that's okay. Very briefly. And I just want to mention that Montreal, don't overthink it. Take Shane Wright. We don't need Yaroslav Slavkovsky. You know what to do. Shane Wright's been the guy for the past few years. You know what to do. Moving on, we had some festivities for the 4th of July. One of them is the yearly, I forgot the name of it, but the yearly hot dog eating contest, 4th of July. Joey Chestnut.
Give Nathan's their plug.
Yeah, give Nathan's their
plug.
plug.
One time everyone thinks about them. Best hot dogs in the world right there.
Joey Chestnut wins his 15th title, which is over double the amount that Tom Brady has Super Bowl. So Davian, I think you have there's a different go in the sports world. But I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. I also just want to mention too, Joey Chestnut, MMA, WWE, like he's gonna be coming up soon, I think, because that chokehold that he put on that protest, dude.
It was solid. It was good.
Look, we've been waiting for someone to defeat Adesanya. Maybe this is the guy.
True.
I don't think so at all.
But you can't doubt Joey Chestnut, bro.
Okay, but what if
the fact that he won by 20
before the fight?
He won by 20 and got attacked. He had to put someone in. He took someone down. He basically a security guard too, and he had like a hot dog in one hand. He's taking like, if there was a picture that described America, it would be a picture of Joey Chestnut just like doing that, like chokehold in one guy and then has a hot dog in the other hand as well. Anthony, what were your thoughts? I don't know if you watched it, but I'm sure you've heard of it.
Pretty phenomenal stuff from him. I mean, I don't know how anyone could eat like 70 hot dogs in like a minute. What is the time? I don't know.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, I believe.
10 minutes? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's like
and
hot dogs a minute.
Say, it's not just hot dogs. He holds over 50 world records. I mean, the man ate 7 pounds of funnel cake once. I forget the time, but it was something ridiculous. He ate 8 of the what are those things called? The Pizza Hut calzones. I think there's some kind of branded name. He ate 8 of those in 10 minutes.
That's impressive.
The man is incredible.
The thing is too is whenever you think it's done and he can't eat anymore, he certainly can. I think the maximum I saw that a person can eat, and this doesn't include water, is like 100 and like something, 110-ish hot dogs. But obviously there's factors like time and water and all that stuff as well. So as time goes on, it's going to be interesting to see if there's anyone new that could potentially dethrone Joey Chestnut. Also, fun fact, if you are tall and skinny, like Chet Holmgren potentially, you can train, and I honestly believe it's scientifically proven that you could beat Joey Chestnut in a hot dogging contest. So, Chet Holmgren, if the NBA doesn't work out, I got you.
Will.
Got you.
His first summer league game is tonight too at 9, I think.
Yes, I'm
sure Theodore is going to be all over that watching.
I'm ready for it.
He's ready for the whole plan, for the master plan to all start coming together. Now, another big piece of news that I do want to hit on. So, what is going on with college sports and college football? So, we recently heard USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten, which I, as a collegiate student at a Big Ten university, think that's terrible because the regions, I associate every conference with their respective regions. Adding the Pac-12, adding 2 Pac-12 teams, that annoys me a ton. But now we're also hearing that Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Oregon, and Washington are all heading to the Big 12 now, potentially. They submitted applications. That leaves like Cal, Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State kind of just out to dry right now. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what you guys think of what's going on in college sports, because it looks like we're heading towards a Big Ten, SEC, two juggernaut conferences, and then the Big 12 becoming like kind of like the American or something like that in the future.
It's a mess. I mean, I think what we're going to end up seeing is what is Rafi was not even just 3 weeks. I think it's just going to be two, like the Big Ten and the SEC. I think it's just going to be that. And it's, I mean, look, for college, I don't think they're supposed to try and copy, really the National Football League. The reason why college football is so good, the reason why it gets so many ratings is because it's its own thing. It's on Saturday. It's on Friday night. It's when the NFL doesn't have any airtime. But also, people watch college football because of the rules and because of the enjoyment of the game. They love the high scoring game. They love that it's only 1 foot to for a catch to be count in bounds. And of course, there's countless other rules that I as like a person who doesn't really watch college football, don't really know. But again, it makes it really fun for college football fans to watch. And I feel like what they're doing right now is trying to really kind of become this corporate superhouse, these colleges. And I think it's a bad look, and I don't think it's good for their future.
USC, UCLA, have fun playing Minnesota and Michigan in late November. Have fun with that. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Let me say, I absolutely love what this move is doing for the college sports world. So I'm basically going completely opposite of what Davian has said. I understand that there are a lot of people that are skeptical, and I understand why. But change has to happen sometimes. Like, I'm a big history guy, sports history. I love reading up on old rivalries and stuff. And I will say it's a little sad seeing some of this tradition go by the wayside. But I just think the end result, the thing that we're going to be left with, is going to be so incredible and something that truly does rival the NFL. This is coming from someone who spends most of my Saturdays in the fall watching college football. I think, it's going to, there's some tough decisions that are going to have to be made, some history that's going to be broken up, even some programs like, we could see a school like Washington State be completely left out to sit in like the Mountain West Conference. Those sacrifices will be worth it because I'm telling you, these super conferences are going to be incredible. Think about what Clemson in the SEC will be. Like, you're getting Clemson, Alabama every single year. Like, that will be incredible.
But then that's like, you want to see it in the national championship, and then you have teams cannibalizing each other. You see it in the SEC West every single year. The teams are cannibalizing each other, and now you're going to add Clemson potentially as well into that. Like, I just feel like you're creating a whole. Texas is back. I had to do that regardless. I'm legally obligated to put the horns down every time I mention Texas. And Oklahoma, they're going to cannibalize each other. And
Rafi, we're heading for a 12-team playoff. There's no way to deny it. I'd argue probably even a 16-team
See, my
playoff.
problem with this all isn't the fact that it's the fact that this isn't a college football thing. This is college basketball. This is college baseball. This is like college everything. And it feels like everything's getting roped into one another. And that just creates a whole messy situation where you're drawing it. If this was like one sport, if college was just college football, I would be fine with it. But now you're incorporating college basketball. You have college hockey. That's kind of just a Big Ten. But regardless, you have college softball, college base. You have all these other sports too that are going to get completely changed based off it. You're going to have scheduling issues. You're going to have more athletes going overseas, across country, different time zones, yada, yada, yada. USC, UCLA, they're going to have to get used to 9 a.m. games now from game times when they wake up, which isn't a bad thing, but it's going to take a lot to get used to. But I prefer that Notre Dame joins the conference final, but I don't think.
I think it will happen. I will say before we wrap this topic up that the improvements that we're going to see to college basketball are going to be insane. Like, I understand all the problems that you may have with it from the football side, but think about the basketball matchups.
Bring back the Big East.
They're going to be the Big East is going to be back because I think we can almost definitely pencil in Gonzaga to join this conference now that time zones are irrelevant. I think I mean, Gonzaga in the Big East, think about the product that would bring. It's just absolutely insane.
See, but here's the problem, though.
Here's the
problem. Arizona luckily joined the Big 12. What happens to Kansas? What if Kansas just falls out? Kansas has a great basketball school. Think about Duke. Duke football, terrible. But are they going to join the Big East now for basketball? Again, it just creates a huge mess because you have teams in other conferences who might be led astray in football, but have really good basketball programs that become independent. So you're going to find you're going to put Duke in like the Big East and Kansas in the Big East, even though their football teams are buns, or you're going to find them in another conference where they're still going to suck at football, but they're going to have basketball then. And it's just a whole balancing act of, all right, but this team's really good at rowing. Like, why don't we throw this team in? Yeah. I just feel like it's going to be a huge hodgepodge of nonsense and craziness. It's just going to create chaos.
I'm just so excited to see the end result. Football and basketball teams will be fine. These are the money makers. In fact, these are the only sports that make money. Like the NCAA requires, I believe it's 4 men's and 6 women's Division I teams, like in order to be a Division I school. Every school except basketball and football loses money year in and year out. Baseball is usually about even, where they're breaking even. But every other sport is losing money on the on a year in year out basis. So to go out and say that, oh, we got to make the decision based off these other sports, it's just like, it's not the right way to go about things. Let the money makers dictate it, because the football and basketball programs will be fine. Like, I think we can say it with almost absolute certainty. Like, yeah, maybe Duke won't be in the best conference for football, but should they be? I don't think their past body of work justifies it. I think everything will sort itself out in a good way.
Where does that put Duke then? Where does that put Kansas then?
It still puts them in a good place because A, they can schedule each other. B, I think conferences are going to matter less and less, especially for basketball. Like, you'll be able to schedule all these non-conference games, basically what Notre Dame does for football, where you can hand pick a great schedule every year.
I hate Notre Dame.
Like, I just feel like the product that we're going to be left with 5 years down the line is going to be something absolutely incredible.
This is going to be very boomer bust. Anthony, Davian, any thoughts before we shift over to the NBA offseason?
Rafi, I don't think you could. I side with Rafi. I really don't think you could have said better. It's going to be boomer bust then. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I don't know anything about college. I'm literally I could tell you some stuff about football, but when it comes like to the NBA draft and stuff, around that time I'm just like, I watched some film on some players, but I know mostly nothing, so I'll like rely on like Twitter or Instagram or whoever to tell me who the good prospects are and stuff.
Absolutely. Once again, Anthony is boys with Woj. You heard it here earlier from him.
Woj lives in my town, so
yeah, Woj lives here.
Yeah, Woj lives in our town.
That's actually pretty crazy.
We know where he lives. He lives like a few blocks away from us.
Davian, I'm not going to pay
weird,
you a
but also pretty cool as well. You know what? Speaking of Woj, let's talk about something that Woj has been doing a lot of recently, and that's breaking some news as we have hit NBA free agency. I cannot wait for NHL free agency, but that's for another week. So in the meantime, I will suffice with some NBA stuff. There's still some good players available. Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal are both expected to go to back to their respective teams. Miles Bridges, I just want to mention, fumbled the bag, had $100 million, and proceeded to do stupid stuff, and just proves why college athletes and high school athletes need to do a better job of learning. These kids need to be taught what to and not to do, because Miles Bridges, he's still going to get paid, but he kind of fumbled the bag right there. Obviously, I think we'll just start off with Jalen Brunson and the Knicks tampering. Davian, I want to hear your thoughts after hearing the news that the Knicks are in trouble now for tampering for Jalen Brunson, of all people. It couldn't have been DeAndre Ayton. It couldn't have been Colin Sexton. No, we had to do it. We had to tamper for Jalen Brunson.
Look, we found that Jalen Brunson's dad would have been a great asset for the Knicks team. Later on, we also decided to sign Jalen Brunson. I find that as just a big coincidence.
Yeah.
No tampering, okay? Look, everyone is saying that we're going to sign with him. We're going to sign him, okay? That is all rumors. That is not fair for us to be charged with tampering because of rumors, okay? You know, in fact, he said that he actually spoke with Miami Heat. So I don't think that's tampering, okay? He spoke with another team. I would actually take away a pick from the Miami Heat because I think they set this all up because they're jealous that we signed Jalen Brunson, a stud of a player, for an expensive-ass contract, and hopefully he doesn't bust, or I'm going to break down crying as I do every single season end with the
Please
Knicks.
do it. It'll help with the views. Anthony, before I throw it over to you, Theodore, can you just tell that Davian wants to be a politician in the future through that little spiel? I could really see his impact about it. Anthony, I want to hear your thoughts on Jalen Brunson. I'm not sure if you are a Knicks fan.
I am.
I am sorry, but take it away.
Jalen Brunson. People are saying this is a bad move because of the money we paid him. Games 2 and 3 of the first round, Jalen Brunson dropped like 30 and 40 points to bring the Mavericks to a 2-1 lead over the Jazz. He carried the team until Luka Doncic came back from his injury. I think this is going to be a great move. He can lead the team. He's like your best point guard since John Starks in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Y'all had Jeremy Lin for like 10 games.
Okay, yeah.
Lin Sanity. Never forget Lin Sanity. But yeah, no, I don't know what the Knicks are doing. I really think that this is going to blow up in their face. It's going to be hilarious.
No, what? It's not going to blow up in their face.
Look, you're the Knicks.
Great. It's great. I think it's.
It shows that they're going in the right direction. They want to push for the playoffs instead of staying in this endless rebuild that we've been in for almost 10 years now. I'm happy. I'm in the middle, but I'm more on the happy side because this shows hope. That's all I want.
We're not crying. As Knicks fans, I think that's a good thing.
We got rid of some veterans in it too, like Alec Burks' contract and Nerlens Noel and Kemba. I'm happy about that too.
Kemba Walker. I used to love Kemba Walker. Theodore, I want to throw it over to James Harden. Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts on James Harden. He declined his option. I just want to. Do you think he winds up returning to Philly, or do you think he is off somewhere else?
I think he does return. I think it just makes sense. If you're Philly, it's going to be hard. You're not going to get a better piece elsewhere. Even though y'all know I've been very critical of James Harden in the past, and for good reason. There's no better option out there. I think you got to give the pairing with him and Simmons, or him and Embiid, another chance. And if you're James Harden, I don't know how you turn down $47 million. Like, I don't know how he thinks he's getting a huge contract this offseason. If I'm him, I'm taking the $47 million and working from there. But also, like, who's going to sign you? Everyone is over the salary cap. Like, maybe the Knicks would have been interested a week ago. Now that's obviously off the table because they're way over the cap now. Like, the Oklahoma City Thunder are basically the only team in the league that actually has salary cap right now, and I can guarantee it to everyone listening that the Thunder will not be signing James Harden.
Well, James Harden, I'm just saying, I think James Harden, out of the big three, was the most underrated out of all three of them. Arguably more valuable than Russell Westbrook, but that's just
Don't even try to make that argument, Rafi, unless you want to start a gunfight.
Theodore is just going to drive to Illinois and just absolutely just smack the heck out of me after saying that. So I'll stop. And I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about underrated signings. What signings so far that kind of went under the radar do you guys think is really going to help out a team? Davian, I'll start with you.
The Knicks signing of that center from Clippers, Anthony, you know his name. We talked about him.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
He's it's such a good signing. I saw he's actually one player that I actually watched because of the playoffs and whatnot. He was always a really good good player for the Clippers, and I feel like he could be a good asset for the Knicks. And now we have a really good kind of center core with Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, and now Harmstein. I will not be able to pronounce his name till probably mid-season. But I think that's a really good signing. Other than that, there's a lot of good signings all around. There's still some questions I have about, the free agency, like where's Donovan Mitchell going? And are the Jazz not going to trade him? Because it feels like Donovan Mitchell wants out, but the Jazz are kind of rejecting that.
Anthony.
Let me just say, Rob, that's not a biased Knicks fan moment. That is legitimately a good signing. I have to let our viewers know because a lot of times reality gets a little muddled up when Davian speaks.
What's the name of this guy?
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Never heard of him. He sounds like a guy
He's one of
who's
the best
from
backups in the league.
Pennsylvania who's about to like
Backup
suck someone's blood or suck all the life out of the new
Oh, okay.
whatever blood center.
Okay. Okay, Rafi.
You
That's
better hope Isaiah Hartenstein is not listening to this podcast.
yeah.
I really hope not, because otherwise he'll suck my blood. Anthony, underrated signing.
Wow.
Not a signing, but more of a trade. The Celtics acquiring Malcolm Brogdon. I think they're one of the big winners of the offseason. The trade for Malcolm Brogdon, giving up close to like nothing. They gave up like a first, Daniel Tice, and Aaron Nesmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they picked up Danilo Gallinari too, after he was waived from the Spurs after the trade of DeJounte Murray.
Mhm.
I think that getting better after their run, winning 2 games in the finals and proceeding to get better after that, they're in great shape.
Stole my thunder there, Anthony. I just really think the Celtics made some incredible moves. Brogdon is one of the, if not the most consistent point guard in the league. Incredible free throw shooter. Is ready to play night in, night out. Can always give, the solid 15, 16 points per game. I've even seen that they're wanting to use him off the bench. I don't think that'll be a problem. I think he'll probably be the sixth man of the year if that does happen. In addition to the Celtics, my other winner as a whole, and this is a mixture of underrating signings, the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, they went head to head with the Celtics, could have very easily taken that series in Game 7, but they brought all their guys back. They got Bobby Portis to commit, brought back their other guys, and also brought in Joe Ingles, who, yes, he's old, yes, he was hurt, but still, he's the perfect piece for a contender to add. He, makes his threes. He's a great team player, great locker room guy. I really think the Bucks are ready to make it back to the NBA Finals next year.
Brought in future All NBA player Pat Connaughton. So definitely looking up for the Milwaukee Bucks to potentially win another championship. So funny thing, last week we blew off the Kevin Durant Kyrie talk because we thought it wasn't going to happen. Spent a few minutes on it, and well, a few days later, some crazy stuff happened in the NBA. Theodore, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on Kevin Durant wanting out of Brooklyn? Do you think anything's going to happen? Do you think he's going to get traded? Obviously, Brooklyn, they're not going to trade him unless it's for an absolute haul. It's you essentially need to trade your whole franchise, your whole team, if you want Kevin Durant. But I just want to hear your thoughts on, do you think he's going to get moved? Do you think he sits out? Is he going to be a baby? Is he going to be like James Harden and show up like 40 pounds overweight when he's not?
He could use the weight, though. Kevin Durant could use the weight.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, after the Rudy Gobert trade, I think it became clear that any rumors of teams not wanting to trade for Kevin Durant were completely false. I completely missed the mark on that take that I gave. Rudy Gobert, that trade was an absolute haul. I can't believe the Timberwolves gave up so much. But it also scares me that an NBA franchise is really about to give up its whole entire future for 34-year-old Kevin Durant. I mean, the guy is literally a cancer. He has destroyed every team he's left. I mean, he almost destroyed the Warriors, but they were just too good to be destroyed. They're a whole other beast. But he completely ruined the Thunder, has ruined relationships everywhere, has clear team chemistry problems, is getting paid $160 million over the next 4 years. And on top of that, there are injury concerns now. If I'm a contending team, with one exception, which we'll get to in a minute, I am not giving up my future just for a chance that maybe Kevin Durant will be happy on my team.
You guys can clearly see Theodore's a OKC fan. I mean,
I just want to point out as well. Thank you for clarifying that. We like to obviously show who is a fan of what team, so you can just. It's a normal take, and then it's clearly a biased take. So we just want to make sure that everything sounds very biased.
There was just like a hint of anger in that message, so I just want people to know.
Did he hurt Russell Westbrook's feelings?
Regardless, I think he probably.
I just want to mention this real quick, and I just want to say, from my personal opinion, from an outsider perspective, as you guys know, I don't watch too much basketball. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I probably have, but regardless, I honestly think what the Warriors have done this year, winning a championship, and what the Bucks did the year before winning a championship, I think that really shows that the era of trading huge amounts of assets for a super team is not the way to build anymore. You need to build through the Thunder. Mm-hmm. You need to work your way up. You need to develop your own guys, and then you pay them to stay with you. I think a key part of it now is you got to be better at drafting. I looked at the Sacramento Kings 2015 draft. Oh, it was hot garbage. The Suns a few years ago, garbage drafters. That's why those teams were bad. The Suns are now much better because they drafted D-Book, DeAndre, and they hit on some guys. But in the NBA, if you can hit on one player, like a Luka Doncic potentially, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, for example, those players can just really just help generate your team. I honestly don't think you should be willing to trade picks, a large quantity of picks, unless you think you are one step, unless this is like the missing piece. Because once again, as I said earlier, coming back to my initial point, I think the era of let me trade for all these superstars and put them on a team, I think that era is over. And with Brooklyn, I don't think they're going to look to move Kevin Durant, but that future looks really dark. I don't know if Kyrie stays. And with pick swaps and unprotected picks, the Nets are entering essentially, although these guys are younger, the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce era, which we all know ended terrible for them. Jason Tatum. Davian, Anthony, your guys' thoughts?
All right, I have a lot, so I'll let Davian go first.
All right. I mean, look, I mean, I don't.
He
I
puts
mean,
the
I
ball
don't
in the
know really
net
much.
very well.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot to say. I mean, I kind of what Theodore said. I'll kind of just. I think Theodore really covered it. I have less like passion about it because I don't have like a vendetta against Kevin Durant. He didn't really abandon my team. But you know, I think really Kevin Durant he's not a team player. Neither really is Kyrie. They're both in it. I mean, especially Kyrie. I mean, we're talking a lot about Kevin Durant right now. I mean, let's talk about Kyrie for a sec. I mean, this guy is like, look, he wants to trade. He didn't. He's the reason why this is going on from the start. Okay.
No, Kevin Durant. Okay.
No. I think that Kyrie is what pushed Kevin Durant to the edge. I think Kyrie is what pushed Kevin Durant to say, like, what his main comment when Kevin Durant came out was like, "You weren't in that gym." And that's what I think Kevin Durant's commenting on. He's commenting on Kyrie and his antics and his like. I mean, look, this guy's always in drama, like, and especially when you're in the market of New York City, you can't be like that.
Davian, who is responsible for getting Kyrie Irving on the Nets?
Okay, that is Kevin Durant. Okay, fine.
It's like people talking about how LeBron never has a good team around him. Who's building those teams? It's LeBron. Everything about this Nets team is Kevin Durant's fault. He put together a group of players, and now he wants to quit on them.
Anthony.
The Nets have done everything in their power to please Kevin Durant. When he came over, they signed DeAndre Jordan just for him. They got Kyrie Irving. They brought him over. Last year, they got Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge. They got all these veterans for him. I don't know. It kind of came out of nowhere last week, and Kyrie opted in. No one was expecting that. Then Kevin Durant requests a trade. I don't know why. No one really knows why yet. He went to owner Joe Tsai, whatever, and he told him, "I want to leave Brooklyn. I do not want to be here anymore." And what they've done today also confuses me. They signed TJ Warren. I don't know why. They also traded a first-round pick for Royce O'Neal, who good defender, good perimeter defender, probably the only one on the Jazz. And I don't understand. It seems like they're preparing for if Kevin Durant stays, but they're also preparing for if they trade him. Now they have TJ Warren, who knows? Last time we saw him play, I think it was like the bubble. I don't think he's played since then.
No.
Yeah, so
he was a beast, though.
Yeah, he was.
Warren was something else.
Yeah.
I have a question for you three because you all three. I'm assuming Anthony, you're also in the New York, New Jersey area because you're friends with Davian.
Yes.
Is it true that Brooklyn Nets games are like 90% like other teams' fans, and there aren't really?
Oh yeah, the Nets have no sort of fan base. Okay, so this is actually I'm gonna go in here. The local radio shows, right? Like Craig Carton. You got Tiki Barber and Brandon Tierney. You got Gio and Boomer in the morning. Some great shows. Their viewership numbers, generally speaking, very high. Anytime any of these shows talk about the Brooklyn Nets, ratings plummet. People are legitimately flipping away from their radio stations to avoid Brooklyn Nets talk. There is no sort of fan base in this city for the Nets.
Yeah, there really isn't.
They need to leave. Off to Seattle, maybe.
I
Kansas City?
I've been to Nets games before, and a lot of the time, like I think I went to like a Nets Warriors game like a couple years ago. A lot of the time you'll see fans rooting for the other team for whatever reason. Like when I go to a game, like I went to the Warriors game, there were a lot of Curry jerseys. There weren't many Nets jerseys out there. It's kind of
I
like
just think
people are, like in the middle. Like if the Nets win, woohoo, the Nets won.
Yeah.
They lose, who cares, you know?
I honestly think the Nets are just. I don't know if you guys have seen the meme where you see all those garbage bags and there's that one gold garbage bag. I feel like that's an accurate representation of franchises.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens, obviously, with Kevin Durant. We'll be sure to cover it in the coming weeks, coming days, as we hear more and more about Kevin Durant. Theodore, I'm sure Theodore will get a video up soon about the Kevin Durant situation and go on a little rant about that, which is Benchwarmer_sports for those interested.
Hey, we're about to hit 69 followers on TikTok.
Please,
We are
we
very,
need two
very
more
close.
followers. Come
We're
on.
trying to hit 100 by the end of July, so if you want to help that, hit that follow button. Watch
It's
our
about the
videos,
little goals in life for Rafi.
and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, Benchwarmer Sports. You guys are watching the video here. Hello. It's nice seeing you. Subscribe button right below there. Get it. I can't grant you any wishes, but I can grant you that you will be watching a great podcast and you'll be one of the OGs. So that should be in it in itself. Anthony, we thank you for hopping on. We hope to see you again soon. And for everyone else, for Anthony, for Theodore, for Davian, I'm Rafi. We hope you enjoyed this episode. A lot of NBA talk. It's just going to keep ramping up. And we will talk to you guys again soon.
Peace.
Thank you.